Hey friends, Rodney Griffin here, previewing the On the Mouch with Couch episode that you're getting ready to watch. And I just wanted to invite you to join Greater Vision on any of our Praise Fest events. We're wonderfully excited about Praise Fest Niagara Falls, Praise Fest Branson, and the homecoming of them all, the Great Smokies Praise Fest in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. So if you want to join us, please do that. Check our website out, greatervisionmusic.com. See you there.
Hey, thank you for joining me today for On the Couch with Fouch. We've got Rodney Griffin of Greater Vision with me today. Thank you for joining me.
Welcome. Welcome, friends.
Welcome to all.
Yes.
And we are in Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, at Praise Fest here at the Scotiabank Convention Center. This is one of my favorite places that we come.
Wow.
Because it's just right across the street is Niagara Falls. And it's beautiful over there, and I like this facility. It's nice, it's clean. The buses are just right out back, so I really like coming here.
I like a good, clean facility.
Well, yes. What is your favorite place to sing? I mean, where's your favorite venue?
Well, I'm probably a little tainted, but my mom and dad, my dad pastors in Russell Springs, Kentucky, and that church is magnificent. And we sing there once a year, and people come from all over, and it's packed. And the First Baptist Church of Russell Springs, Kentucky, if you're ever in the area, you would love to visit. Good preaching, and I guess that's my favorite.
That's cool.
That we currently do.
That's cool. Very nice. So this is my favorite. Yours is a little more sentimental, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
Okay, so normally what we ask is for the person who's doing the interview to go ahead and give like their musical background, how they got started into gospel music, kind of their history, and then talk about your family as well.
Okay.
So why don't you start with that?
So do you want me to look at you, or do you want me to look at the
You
phone?
look wherever, if you'd like to look off into the distance,
Okay.
or at the phone,
Okay.
whatever you'd like.
At the phone, I'll be looking at the phone. Ready?
Number one song right there.
It all started for me in high school. Well, back up. Grade school, Mom and Dad took me to hear the cathedrals in Kingsman every year at Memorial Hall in Dayton, Ohio. And that just set a desire in my heart to do this. Never thought I had the ability to do it. And I still wonder, Matt. So every year they took me, and I fell in love with this music. So when I was in high school, we formed a quartet, the Fellowship Quartet. You've probably heard of us.
Mm-hmm. I have a couple of your records.
4 of us there from the Fellowship of Christian Athletes at Pulaski County High School in Pulaski County in Somerset, Kentucky.
Know it well.
We sang in churches and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes events.
Cool.
And made a couple cassettes.
Okay.
Then I went to college at Berea College, graduated '88, and moved out east to Virginia, where I was born, Newport News, Virginia. And didn't have any opportunity to sing. I was working at the Newport News shipbuilding plant there, and just hoping for an opportunity. And I got to sing with a local group called the Galileans. Ken Channel's a wonderful man. We got to work with him last week in Chesapeake, Virginia. Well, I'm wanting to sing, but I'm sitting there at my desk at the shipyard, writing songs, wanting to do this, and then I get a phone call from my sister in Ohio, and she says, we're getting ready to have our first baby. And she said something that kind of changed the course of my life. She said, it's a shame that little Brittany will never really know her Uncle Rodney, because we were living, 8-9 hours away. And I thought, man, what am I doing out here? I'm not really enjoying this work at the shipyard. Why don't I just move back to the vicinity where I'm from, Kentucky, Ohio, and at least try to sing with someone locally and get to be with my family. So I said, okay. I got out my Singing News magazine. That's before cell phones, before internet, any of that. So I'm looking through, this is 1990. looking through my singing news, and I see an ad for a little group out in Hamilton, Ohio. The group is called Higher Dedication. And it was just an ad that says, "Thank you for playing our latest single." I called the number. "Hey, you don't know me, Rodney Griffin, Newport News Shipbuilding." Definitely a cold call. If you, do you guys know of any group in Ohio? My dad was pastoring in Hillsboro, so I thought I could live with them and work it wherever and then sing during the weekend. "Do you know of anybody in that area?" And they said, "Yes, we need somebody." First call.
Wow.
I was like, okay, this is definitely the Lord answering my prayer. So I bought a one-way ticket and flew because I knew it was God's will. And they said, "By the way, we just went full-time. We're leaving for California next week, and we need somebody." I was like, "Are you serious? I mean, 1 week I'm sitting at the shipyard not enjoying my job, and you mean next week I can be riding a bus, traveling, singing full-time?" I thought maybe just part-time, but you're serious? This can be my
Going to
living?
California.
California, here we come.
Yeah, no doubt. Crash course.
So, man, flew into Cincinnati, went over to Hamilton, tried out. They said, "We'd love to have you." I said, "I'd love to be here." My dad and I rented a U-Haul. We drove it back to Virginia. I went in and I gave my resignation there at the shipyard. We got my stuff. I put my little condo up for sale, and off we went to Ohio. Off we went. Headed back in to meet the guys, and we took off for California. So it was literally like that. So that was my first full-time position.
Right.
So I'm there 2 months, and the group just kind of disbanded. Didn't have the calendar of dates. Really, we needed to make it. So the group disbanded, and once again, I got my singing news. I'm like, okay, Lord, you did it once. See if you can do it again. I look in the ads in the back where it says needed singers, and it said family group full-time. I said, okay, let me call them. Hello? Yeah, this is Gerald Brashear. The Brashears out of Russellville, Arkansas. And we're needing somebody. And he said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Well, Kentucky, but now I'm living in Ohio, where my parents are, in between groups." He said, "Well, we're going to be in Columbus, Ohio next week." I was like, that's crazy, because they always sing out west. Arizona, Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas. And sure enough, they came through Columbus. I met them at the church, tried out. They said, "We'd love to have you." I said, "I'd love to be here." And I joined the Brashears, and I moved to Russellville, Arkansas.
Hey.
I was there for 6 months, and we go to Quartet Convention in back when it was in Nashville, Tennessee. We're at the Quartet Convention, and a guy walks up to me with a group called Priority. They used to sing in Branson.
Okay.
And he said, "I remember you." He said, "You sang in the solo competition last year here in Nashville." And I said, "I sure did. I drove from Newport News, just chasing a dream, and nothing happened, and I had a cold, couldn't sing well. Nobody was interested." He said, "Did you know the Dixie Melody Boys are looking for a baritone?" I said, "No, I don't know much of anything. I'm from Kentucky." So he said, "If you want me to hook you up." I said, "I would love an opportunity." And sure enough, he introduced me to the Dixie Melody Boys. I tried out, told Mr. Brashear I would be trying out, and he gave me his blessing. And then all I knew was that 8 months from sitting in Newport News Shipbuilding, now 8 months later, I'm singing on major stages. We sang with the Cathedrals, we sang with the Neelands, we sang with Greater Vision, we sang with the Tallies, we sang the big venues, and all of a sudden I'm living a dream.
Right.
2 years I was with the Dixie Melody Boys, then Mark Trammell left here, and I came here in 1993 in December, and I just finished 20 years.
Wow.
here in December.
What a journey.
So that's the synopsis of the journey, and it's amazing the Lord did it without internet.
Well, I mean, you think about it, back, when there was no internet, it was just the singing news and word of mouth.
That's it.
I mean, how that someone could go from Newport News, Virginia, to being on a bus in a matter of days,
Yes.
is amazing, and it had to be a God thing.
Yeah.
But just to think that there were other guys just probably with stories just like yours,
Yeah.
and somehow it worked out. They just went from A to B just like that, without being able to email or
No
text
cell
somebody,
phone, no cell phones.
not knowing someone's landline to their house,
Yeah,
their
no.
home phone number. Hope I catch them when they're home.
Yeah.
Now it'd be so much more easier now. But I mean, that's pretty cool. Very neat story. I didn't know your whole journey. I didn't know all
that's
that.
it.
That's pretty cool.
And I met Regina 4 months after I started Greater Vision, my
Okay.
wife. So I don't recommend this, but we met in April, and we got engaged in July, and we got married in December. And that'll be 20 years ago this December.
Well,
So I don't recommend that,
well,
but it worked for us.
yeah, it's worked for you. And a previous interview with Chris Allman, he said that him and his wife were engaged from like May to November or something. So I mean, just and they've been married 21 years, I think he said,
Yeah.
something like that. So it's worked for you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's cool. My wife and I, our engagement was like 8 months, I think, ish. 10 months, something like that. So a little bit longer, but we dated for a while before that. But yeah, it's pretty neat to hear stories of people that, I'm sure many of you have a similar story where you dated for a short while or were engaged for a short while. Now you've been married 15, 20, 30, 40, maybe sometimes 50 years, and you've made it work. And so hats off to all of you guys and to you guys for, marriage is rough for anybody at times, but it's great as long as you're, make God the point and the center of your marriage.
Yes.
So it'll work for anybody or anything.
Absolutely.
So very cool. So tell a little bit about, you talked about your wife and how long you've been married, and I know you have a couple kids.
Yes.
Tell everybody about your kids.
2 girls. Reagan is 16. She enjoys playing piano. She's very good at playing piano. She enjoys soccer, volleyball, running, track. My youngest daughter is Riley. She'll be 14 in June of 2014. And she enjoys soccer, volleyball, and walking, not running.
So who enjoys jogging?
Probably Reagan, and I enjoy jogging.
So it's in between the running and the walking.
Yes.
Nice little
Trotting.
Trot. Good. Well, that's cool. That's nice that they enjoy the more active things.
Yes, they do.
That's what we're trying. Grayson is 2, and he, since the weather got nice, he's been enjoying just going outside. So that's been cool to be like, okay, that's great. We love it that you want to go outside, because there'll come a day when you'll want to stay inside with video games and TV and internet and computers, and then we're going to have to make you go outside. So hopefully it will continue, but you never know. So that's cool that they like to get out and be active.
They do.
Really neat. So now that we know a little bit about your family and your history, we're going to get to the social media questions.
Okay.
So the first question is from D.W. Crutchfield, and he's actually here today with a group called Advocate.
Okay.
They've been here for this event, and he wants to know, what song do you wish you had written?
Wow, several. Amazing Grace, that would have been nice. How Great Thou Art. Any song that you can hear a choir sing or a congregation, to me, is the ultimate blessing. But as far as Southern Gospel song, I've always admired the Hopper's song, That's Him. If you get the lyric to That's Him and look at it, it's just amazing.
It is. It's a very good song.
The picture, the song starts out, a tender blade of grass so green, crushed in the footprint of the Nazarene, springs back with a message to a bird on the wing. That's him. As if Jesus were walking across grass, and just the weight of his foot and body, all of nature recognizes that this is our Creator, and they're like, hey, this wasn't just another human just walked on us, that's him. What a great picture. Cool. That writing excites me.
Very nice.
I like that song.
That is a great song. For those of you who have not heard it, check it out. Maybe search it on YouTube.
Yep.
Or get the song on iTunes, listen to the demo, and purchase it. It's great, for sure. So the next question, well, actually, I can't ask just one question, because this was the majority of the questions that you guys submitted, and you've been Songwriter of the Year for 15 years. So it kind of makes sense that everyone would ask about songwriting. So just briefly, just give the process you go through when something comes to mind, or however a song comes about for you. Just give a brief, this is how it happens for me.
I would compare it to a preacher getting an idea for a sermon. He can be driving down the road and say, wow, I just had a thought. Or maybe he sees a billboard that makes him think, wow, a great sermon would be this. Or maybe in casual conversation with someone else, they say something, a phrase, like, wow, that sparks this Bible story. So it sparks from different sources.
Right.
But the process for me is, as soon as the idea sparks, it's usually the title of the song, and it usually lends itself to some melodic form and time signature. I remember when I got the idea for Just One More Soul. That was from back in 1998. I remember, just one more soul, if just one more soul were to walk down the aisle. So I knew then where the time signature was,
right,
and where the emphasis, if just one more soul, where the emphasis would be, and what words that would land on, and that all helps you find the time signature. And you just keep crafting and molding, and it takes me anywhere from a couple days to a couple years to really get satisfied with the song.
So it's kind of the thought, the melody, then the rest of the lyric, the body of the song.
Yeah.
And then it can take anywhere from any amount of time, pretty much.
Very much.
Cool.
I have no idea. They're all different. Sometimes they come quickly, but most of the time for me, it's about a week before I'm satisfied.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of songwriters rob themselves, and I've done this many times, rob themselves of finishing a great song by declaring it finished too soon. Yeah, that's fine. I know I've heard that rhyme in several songs, but that'll do. Instead of saying, no, I don't want to rush this. Let me just put this aside for a few days and see if I can come up with a different rhyme pattern that maybe hasn't been used in this context. And that's something we fight, because we want to get through it so we can share it, tell somebody, and we think it's going to be recorded later that week, you know. And the truth is, it's usually a year or two before it's recorded, after it's written.
Wow. So
no hurry.
So there's the process. It's easy. It's simple. Just take your time.
10% inspiration, 90% perspiration. I heard that years ago, and it's so true. It's easy to get an idea for a song, but man,
labor over it.
My process is, I want you to feel what I felt when I got the idea. So in order to do that, I've got to get into that thought and put it in a musical pattern that'll get you in the mood to hit you with that idea. And I don't want to distract you or have you thinking about something else.
Right.
I want to have your attention from the first line to get you to where, like, I feel the same way you did when you got that idea.
Makes sense.
That's what I want.
For sure. So there it is. There's the process. And for those of you who are aspiring writers, maybe take a little bit of that, implement it into your writing, And just know that sometimes it takes a while for the song to be finished, and take your time. Don't rush it, and just do what you feel is right with it, and just let it flow.
And there's no rush.
Perspire on it.
Yes.
Inspire a little bit. The rest is perspire.
That's right.
So, next question is from Deidre Mooneyham. She wants to know if you've ever forgotten the words to a song.
Oh yeah, very often.
Okay, next question.
Honestly, I'll be singing a song that I've written, and I'll be thinking, which line did I go with? Because in your writing process, it's a series of choices.
Okay.
You're choosing between this line and this line, and you go back and forth so much within that week or month that you're writing. In your brain, that other line is still in there, even though that's not what you decided. There have been times in the middle of a phrase, I'm like, okay, which line did I finally go with?
That's awesome.
And it's a great battle. It's a great
I
battle.
would love to hear that on a video sometime.
Oh my goodness.
The line that didn't make it, but it got sung once on accident. That would be a great video. Someone would be, familiar with the song, sitting there singing along with watching your YouTube video. And, wait, that's not the words.
Yeah.
They say, but that could have been.
Most of the time, I don't say it. If it doesn't come, I just go blank. I don't try to say that other phrase because I know it's not right. I'm like,
right. You ought to do a video sometime of some of the more popular songs, and just say, okay, so this is what it came out to be. This is what I kind of thought about it.
Yeah,
that would be kind of neat to see how it could have sounded or what the words could have been. We hit some quick hitters here. Here's some more fun stuff.
Okay.
Darla Cromwell wants to know, who is your favorite Legacy 5 person?
Well, I guess I would have to say the one I have the most history with is Scott Howard.
Yep. You guys do talk a lot together.
I've been to his house on multiple occasions. I've pulled my boat all the way to Nashville and spent the night at his house, and then he and I got up the next day and went fishing.
Cool.
He's driven all the way to Jefferson City, Tennessee when we lived in Tennessee. We now live in Kentucky, but he drove all the way, brought his family just so we could go fishing that night. So, I mean, there's a lot of history there.
Right.
So
Makes
we
sense.
spent a lot of time together.
Yeah, and you have a lot of things in common, a lot of similar interests.
Yeah.
Especially with the fishing and stuff.
Yes.
See, I'm not a real big fisher, Now, if someone wanted to talk about basketball or something like that,
Yeah.
that draws me and that interests me.
Mm-hmm.
Fishing, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I can take it or leave it, doesn't matter. So, Kevin Kleinkopf, sorry if I mispronounced that. He would like to know, how many times were you dropped on your head as a child?
I've been dropped so many times I don't remember how many times I've been dropped. I don't know. I was beat a lot. My parents believed in
Holy Spirit.
in
Holy Spirit discipline there.
disciplining their boy who was, sadly, I was a smart mouth, blonde kid. Of course, at least I had hair. So
That's good.
it's a truth.
Well, speaking of hair, you actually submitted a question for yourself.
Yes, I was wanting to ask myself a question.
And his question for himself is that a hairpiece?
It's 2 hair pieces. I've got one I attached to this side and one I attached to this side. But together they form this beautiful unit that you're beholding now.
Perfect. That is a great answer. I love it. 2 pieces.
Thank you.
And quickly, give us the process behind, for those of you, most of you I'm assuming have seen your little stage dance you do.
Oh my.
At the back of the stage when someone's singing a fast song,
Yeah.
everyone's standing up clapping.
Yeah.
Funny part, you come
Oh yeah.
running through, doing your little dance. Give me, just real short, just 10 seconds, the thought process on that dance. How does that come about?
I just think, how can I look absolutely ridiculous and distract from these friends who are singing right now?
That's awesome. I love it. So that's kind of the mindset I have to get into if I ever decide to join you or to beat you to it.
Ultimate distraction.
Very cool. You know what? I've enjoyed these questions, but you know what I'm ready for? The Fouch Zone. The Fouch Zone is, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but the Fouch Zone, I have 5 questions here. You have a certain amount of time to answer the question. If you do not get the answer in the amount of time, we go right to the next question. Here we go. The first person to survive going over Niagara Falls was?
John Smith.
Leg-sized fingers or finger-sized arms?
John Smith.
The world's first UFO landing pad was built in time?
John Smithland.
Alberta has a national park larger than the country of?
Canada.
And Peterborough, Ontario has the world's largest museum for?
Hot dogs.
So we got John Smith, John Smith,
John Smithland.
John Smithland, Canada,
and hot dogs.
hot dogs. The correct answers are Annie Edson Taylor.
Okay.
Number 2 was just a, would you rather have leg-sized fingers or leg-sized arms? So
John Smith is a great answer.
that is perfect. And where was the world's first UFO landing pad built? It was in St. Paul, Alberta, not John Smithland. And Alberta has a national park larger than the country of?
Canada.
Not Canada, Switzerland.
Wow.
And lastly, these are all most of them were Canadian based.
Okay.
And the last one was Peterborough, Ontario has the world's largest museum for, not hot dogs.
Oh.
I know you love hot dogs, but
Yeah.
not hot dogs, canoes.
Great.
So there you go, a little Canada trivia.
Wonderful.
Hope you enjoyed the Fouch Zone.
Thank you. Thank you. I did.
Thank you for being with me.
Thanks.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you at a concert sometime soon. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
God bless.
Cut.
Sir.
Okay. I need more action. I need more activity.
All right, I've got one more question for Brother Rodney. And the question is, if you were stranded on an island and you could only pick one person to be stranded with, and it could not be a family member,
Wow.
who would you pick?
Tony Romo, because he throws a great spiral.
There you have it. Throw spirals until someone finds you.